learn English. Brothers and sisters, first let us tell you how happy we are to be here. We want to tell you we really very much appreciate the opportunity to be with you all. Thank you for the invitation. Brother Peter, Brother Abraham have invited us for several years to come. And Brother Simpson. And anyway, we are very happy that we finally took the opportunity to come and blend with you all. It's a great blessing it's always a great blessing to be in Taiwan with the dear saints. I'd just like to give a little brief word of introduction, and the other saints will share. It'd be useful, I think, for you to understand a little bit of the situation among the medical saints in the United States. I came into the Lord's recovery back in the late 1970s. And at that time, I only knew of a few brothers and sisters who were doctors in the Lord's recovery. Of course, when Brother Lee came to the United States in the early 60s, he began the labor there, and it took time to grow and develop. And in many ways, Taiwan is very much ahead of the churches in the United States. So probably our biggest burden in coming here, besides just blending with you all, is to learn from you and to be helped by your experience and by your coordination. So we would like to learn how to coordinate better in the same way. In the United States, the situation is different. Brother Lee said you always need to drive the car according to the road. And the road in the United States is different from the road in Taiwan. So our situation among the medical saints is a little different. The Lord has blessed us, and many of the young people are going to medical school now. Probably I have a list, it's an unofficial list, of those brothers and sisters who are in the medical professions. And I have a list of over 100, so I assume there's somewhere between 150 and 200 doctors in the Lord's recovery. I don't know a single general surgeon. So if y'all have any general surgeons who want to migrate to the United States, please. But I try to keep up with the different brothers and sisters who are doctors, because we can help one another to coordinate in our care for the saints if certain areas of expertise are represented among the saints in our fellowship. So about 200 doctors, but those 200 doctors are spread over the entire United States. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a big country. And Texas, the state that I'm from, is much bigger than Taiwan. So all of the doctors are in different localities and scattered, and there's probably no place where you have more than 3 or 4 doctors in the whole locality. So for you to have 30 saints working together in a hospital is wonderful. Wonderful. You should thank the Lord for your blessing to be here in Taiwan with the dear saints and able to coordinate in this way. Our situation is a little different, but we would like to learn to coordinate and fellowship more. Then I just wanted to briefly introduce everybody and then stop. So first is Brother Leo. Leo Shaw is internal medicine doctor in the church in Tucson, Arizona. And this is Marilyn Yu. You should all appreciate Marilyn because she's Andrew's wife. She's kept him alive and functioning for many years. Hallelujah. I'm very thankful to her as well. And next is Jane Ho. She's a rehabilitation nurse in Anaheim, California. She's originally from Taiwan. And this is my sister, my younger sister, Tina Cornell. Not my wife, but my sister. She's a nurse. And then Brother Sam Jang is an ophthalmologist. And he migrated recently to one of the cities where we were trying to spread for the propagation. He migrated to a church in Fort Collins, Colorado. I can tell you, my name is David Vincent. I'm a full-time emergency room doctor. I work full-time still in emergency rooms, and I'm in the church in Irving, Texas. Amen. So Brother Sam is good at a fellowship.
Amen. Brother Leo and I would like to just share with you a little PowerPoint presentation. This was from an email from Brother Rick Scatterday, who couldn't be here. And we sent out an email prior to this time asking some of the saints from the health professions in America if they wanted to give some fellowship. And so we've included a few of their testimonies for you all, since they couldn't be here. So first of all, the saints, all of them, when they wrote back, they said, please send our greetings to the dear saints in Taiwan. And we're all very, and they're standing with us for this time of blending. Amen. Can we get the next slide? So all the points that we're going to read, basically Brother Leo and I are just going to take turns reading to you, and most of the content from these slides are actually Brother Rick Scatterday's fellowship to us. And for some of you who don't know Brother Rick Scatterday, he's a physician, brother, I believe, internal medicine. His wife, Blanca, is a pediatrician. And they've been serving the Lord in the capacity of saints and physicians for over 30 years. And so we just feel like this fellowship, in reading it, I think we ourselves just felt very perfected and enlightened, and we just wanted to share this with you all. Amen. So we entitled this, The Experiences of Some Healthcare Saints in the Churches in the U.S. and Opportunities for Further Service. Amen. Next slide, please.
We have enlarged an opportunity to serve the minister of the age and the ministry of the age. Amen. Next. Many of us who had the privilege of serving in the Lord's recovery when Brother Lee was still with us were helped to realize how great a privilege it is to coordinate with the ministry for the optimal health of the minister of the age. Amen. In particular, Ray Graver and Vincent Phillips ministered to us and also lived out before us certain principles involved in serving the minister for the sake of the ministry. Amen. A number of us were then blessed to occasionally be involved in direct and indirect coordination, seeking to be surveillant and ready related to Brother Lee's own health needs. These experiences were very precious. Amen. Today, Brother Lee is no longer with us, but his ministry speaks more than ever through the blended speaking brothers. Amen. We now have the opportunity to seek to be surveillant in respect to the health and well-being of the brothers who continue Brother Lee and Brother Lee's speaking. Amen.
I think I should say something about the training that I went through in my service to the ministry. The first time I came to Taiwan was in 1977. It was glorious. Brother Lee brought 200 of us. And I was just a sister in the church. I certainly had no vision of the age, no all-inheriting vision, but I was just very happy to be here. Amen. Amen. And then in the 1980s, my husband and I moved here so he could serve in the full-time training in Taipei. And there was a need for a doctor to serve all of the overseas saints. And Andrew, my husband, would be close to Brother Lee. So one time I got a phone call from him. And he says, oh, come over here, Brother Lee's sick. I said, oh, okay, I'll be over. And I'm getting ready to go. And about 3 minutes later, the phone rings again. Why aren't you here yet? I said, I'm coming, I'm hurrying. I said, is this an emergency? He said, yes, it's an emergency. I said, what's going on? He said, Brother Lee has a cold and a fever. I said, that's not an emergency. And he said to me, when Brother Lee has a fever, it is an emergency. So my point is, I had to be trained. If I never went to medical school, he couldn't call me as a doctor to help. But in going to medical school and in working as a doctor, I accumulated lots of baggage, years of opinions and ethics and morality and definitions and priorities that had to be stripped away. And my definition of emergency was not pertinent to that case. Those were the kind of things I had to go through to be trained. And the concept began to evolve in me, that the medical service, I know someone else has said this, but I don't know who, is a Levitical service. Meaning, in the Old Testament, the Levites took care of the physical aspects of the tabernacle. The priests, the Aaronic priesthood, were drawn from among the tribe of Levi, but the Levites existed for the sake of the Aaronic priesthood. And what we are doing is for the sake of the ministry. And that comes into focus when you realize you're not just taking care of individual brothers and sisters' health in the church anymore. We are here so that the ministry itself can function. And if we don't have that realization, aren't we just doing good works like anyone else in Christianity? Like any philanthropic work? No, we have a special condition, and the ministry of the age is carrying it out, and we have to take care of the physical needs of this ministry.
Amen.
That's what's different about what we're doing.
Amen.
I'll give you one other little small illustration of my training and service. This was again in the 1980s, when there were 600 overseas brothers and sisters who needed a doctor, and so all day long, every day, we had a first aid office that was going. And we worried sometimes about getting money just to purchase the basic supplies that we needed every day. And so there was this brother doctor who came through visiting one time, and he was older than I was, humanly. I respected him for his experience, and he was much older than I was in the church life. And so he made a little suggestion. He says, well, look, why don't you just put an offering box here? It's not like charging for your services, but if anyone wants to show their appreciation, they could drop something in. Well, that idea would not have occurred to me, but, I thought, okay, and after all, he was a good brother suggestion, so we did it. And when the brothers found out about it, there was a strong reaction. It was not a positive reaction. It was a negative reaction. And what I learned is you should fellowship first before you act. So I hope you all will learn from my experience and consider how important it is to fellowship and be in one accord before you take off and do your own thing.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Okay, we will go.